The doors exploded open at 3:47 a.m. 6 men in black suits flooded the emergency room like a wave of violence barely contained. Behind them, 2 paramedics wheeled a gurney at a dead sprint. On it, a man convulsing so hard the restraint screamed against metal. Dr. Kendra Wright looked up from her coffee, her 16th hour of shift melting into her 17th, and watched the chaos descend. "Male, mid-30s, unresponsive," the paramedic shouted. "Seizures started in the car, vitals crashing fast." The man on the gurney wore a suit that cost more than her medical school loans. Blood trickled from his nose. His eyes rolled back, unseeing. He was dying, and every instinct Kendra had honed over 8 years of emergency medicine told her this was no ordinary case. She moved. "Move!" Kendra commanded. Shoving through the crowd of nurses, she grabbed the chart. Empty. No medical history, no medications, nothing. "Who is he?" she demanded. The guards said nothing. Their hands rested on concealed weapons. Their eyes tracked every movement in the room. Kendra's pulse quickened. Dangerous man, dangerous situation, but he was seizing again, his body arching off the bed. "Get me lorazepam now!" she barked. "And someone tell me what happened before he collapsed." One of the guards stepped forward, tall, stone-faced, military precision. "He was at dinner, drank tea. 10 minutes later, this." Tea. Kendra's mind raced. Sudden onset, seizures, hypersalivation, bradycardia dropping fast on the monitor. Her attending physician arrived, breathless. "What have we got, right?" "I think it's aconite poisoning." Dr. Stevens froze. "Wolfsbane?" "That's rare, I know." Kendra was already moving, calling out orders. "Get me activated charcoal and atropine, stat!" "You sure about this?" Stevens asked. Kendra looked at the monitor. Heart rate 41. Blood pressure 80/50. "If I'm wrong, we'll know in 3 minutes. If I'm right and we don't treat him now, he's dead in 5. She administered the atropine. Pushed the charcoal through the NG tube. The room held its breath. 40 seconds. His heart rate ticked up. 43, 47, 52. The seizures slowed. 1 minute. His breathing steadied. 2 minutes. His eyes fluttered open. Dark, sharp, immediately aware despite the near-death experience. He looked directly at Kendra, and she felt something shift in the air between them. "Hold up. Before we get into this unbelievably messy story, I need one tiny favor. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Show some support for your girl. I'll really appreciate it." "All right, thank you. Let's jump back in." 3 hours later, Kendra was in the staff lounge, hands shaking from adrenaline crash, when the door opened. He walked in. The man she'd saved, now fully conscious, standing upright like he hadn't just survived a murder attempt. His suit jacket was draped over his arm. His white shirt was unbuttoned at the collar. He was, Kendra realized with an unwelcome flutter in her chest, absolutely devastating. "You shouldn't be walking around," she said, standing. "You need observation for at least, who are you?" His voice was smooth, accented, commanding. "Dr. Kendra Wright. And you're my patient, which means you need to, Young Woo Jin." He extended his hand. She hesitated, then shook it. His grip was firm, warm. "You saved my life, Dr. Wright. It's what I do." "No." He stepped closer. "The paramedics said I came in as a seizure case. No clear cause. My men tell me you diagnosed aconite poisoning in under 3 minutes. Do you know how rare that is?" "I read." A smile ghosted across his lips. Dangerous, appreciative. "You're brilliant. I'm tired. You should return to your room." Instead, he pulled a card from his pocket. Expensive cardstock and embossed lettering. "I need someone like you on my staff." Kendra stared at the card. Young Woo Jin, CEO, Apex Holdings. She'd heard whispers about Apex Holdings, real estate, imports, and rumors of things that happened in shadows. "I work here, Mr. Jung. I'll pay you 5 times your salary, full benefits, access to any medical resources you need. I'm not interested in working for criminals." The word hung between them. He didn't flinch, didn't deny it. "Then I'll have to change your mind." His eyes held hers, intense, unreadable. "Because someone just tried to kill me with a poison that requires expertise to obtain and administer. Whoever it is knows you saved me." A chill ran down her spine. "So? So you're probably a loose end, Dr. Wright." He turned toward the door, paused. "And loose ends have a habit of disappearing." He left. Kendra stood there, heart pounding, the card still in her hand. She told herself it was paranoia, but over the next 4 days she saw him everywhere, her favorite coffee shop on Amsterdam Avenue. He was there, reading a newspaper, a cappuccino cooling in front of him. The hospital parking garage at 11 p.m., his car, a black Mercedes S-Class, idling 3 spaces from hers, her gym at 6 a.m. He was on the treadmill, running like a man who trained for war. On the 5th day, she confronted him outside the bodega near her apartment. "Are you stalking me?" He looked up from his phone, unsurprised. "Protecting you." "I don't need protection. Someone tried to poison me at a business dinner. That someone has resources, knowledge, and motivation. You're the only person who can identify what poison was used. That makes you a loose end. You said..." Kendra crossed her arms. "I saved your life. I'm not a threat." "No, but you're a witness." His expression softened, barely, but enough. "I don't want you hurt because of me." Something in his voice made her believe him. "I can take care of myself," she said. But the words felt hollow. "Can you?" The answer came 2 nights later. Kendra was driving home from her shift, exhausted, NPR playing softly, when the headlights appeared in her rearview mirror. Close. Too close. She switched lanes. The car followed. Her pulse spiked. She accelerated. The car matched her speed. Then it rammed her. Metal shrieked. Her Civic fishtailed. She fought the wheel, heart hammering as the car, a black SUV with tinted windows, came alongside her. It swerved toward her. She was going to die. Then another car, sleek, fast, the black Mercedes, shot between them like a bullet. Woo Jin's car forced the SUV away. Tires screamed. The SUV swerved hard, overcorrected, and slammed into a barrier. Kendra's car screeched to a stop on the shoulder. She sat there, shaking, gasping. A knock on her window. Woo Jin stood there, suit jacket gone, shirt sleeves rolled up, eyes blazing with controlled fury. She opened the door, stumbled out. "Are you hurt?" he demanded, hands on her shoulders, scanning her for injuries. I'm fine. What?" "They found you." His jaw clenched. "I told you, you're not safe." Behind him, 3 of his guards had the SUV driver on the ground, face down, hands zip-tied. Kendra's legs gave out. Woo Jin caught her, held her steady. "Still think you don't need my help?" he asked softly. She looked up at him, this dangerous, infuriating man who'd just saved her life. "What do you want from me?" she whispered. "I want you alive." His hand came up, gently brushed her cheek. "And I want you to say yes." She moved into his penthouse the next day. It was temporary, she told herself. Just until the threat was neutralized. Professional. Boundaries firmly in place. The penthouse occupied the top 3 floors of a building in Tribeca. Floor-to-ceiling windows. Art that belonged in museums. A view of the Hudson that made her breath catch. "Your wing is east side," Woo Jin said, leading her through marble hallways. "Private entrance, full security. My staff won't enter without permission." He opened double doors to reveal a suite larger than her entire apartment. King bed, sitting area, a bathroom with a soaking tub and rainfall shower. "This is..." Excessive, Kendra said. This is safe. He set her bags down. You'll have access to everything you need. Medical supplies are being delivered tomorrow, if you require anything else. Why are you doing this? He turned to face her. In the soft light, he looked younger, almost vulnerable. Because you saved my life. And because... He paused. Because I won't let anyone hurt you for doing the right thing. Their eyes held. Kendra felt something dangerous bloom in her chest. I'm your doctor, she said firmly. That's all. A slow smile. Of course, Dr. Wright. But they both knew it was already more than that. 2 weeks in, he came home bleeding. Kendra was reviewing medical journals in the living room when the elevator doors opened. Woo Jin walked in, jacket slung over one shoulder, blood seeping through his shirt. She was on her feet instantly. What happened? Disagreement, it's nothing. You're bleeding through your shirt, that's not nothing. She pointed to the couch. Sit. For once, he obeyed. She grabbed her medical bag, always within reach now, and returned. Carefully unbuttoned his shirt. The wound was a knife slash across his left shoulder, 3 inches long, deep but clean. You need stitches, she said, prepping her supplies. I've had worse. That's not reassuring. She cleaned the wound, hands steady despite her racing heart. You want to tell me what kind of disagreement involves knives? The kind you don't need to worry about. She looked up, met his eyes. I'm worried anyway. Something flickered in his expression, surprise, pleasure. Why? He asked softly. Because I'm your doctor. And because... She trailed off, focused on threading the needle. Because you're reckless, and someone needs to keep you alive. Is that the only reason? She began stitching. He didn't flinch. Their faces were inches apart. She could feel the heat of him, smell his cologne, cedar, and something darker. You're staring, she whispered. You're beautiful when you're concentrating. Her hands stilled. That's inappropriate. I'm your doctor. Then stop being my doctor. She looked up. His eyes were dark, intense, pulling her in. I can't, she breathed. You'll die without proper medical care. I would have died without you. The words hung between them, confession, promise, threat. He leaned in. She should stop this, should pull away, should remember every professional boundary she'd ever learned. Instead, she kissed him. It was desperate, inevitable, like falling off a cliff she'd been standing on since the moment they met. His hand came up, cupped her face, deepened the kiss. She made a sound, half protest, half surrender. When they finally broke apart, both breathing hard, she whispered, This is a terrible idea. The best ones usually are. He smiled against her lips. Finish the stitches, Dr. Wright. Then we'll discuss how terrible this idea really is. She laughed, helpless, doomed, already lost, and finished the stitches with shaking hands. After that night, everything changed. The boundaries she'd built so carefully crumbled like sand. He brought her coffee every morning, perfect temperature, extra cream, the way she liked it. She made him sit still for wound checks, scolding him when he pushed too hard too fast. They had dinner together, talked about everything. Her childhood in Baltimore, her mother who died when she was 12, her drive to save lives because she couldn't save her. He told her about soul, about family expectations, about building an empire from nothing and the prices he'd paid. Why crime? She asked one night, wine glass in hand, city lights glittering below. Why not? He smiled at her expression. I'm not a good man, Kendra. I've done things that would horrify you. Try me. I've killed people, not many, but enough. She should be afraid, should run. Instead, she asked, Did they deserve it? Yes. Then I'm horrified, she said quietly, but not surprised, and not leaving. He looked at her, really looked, like he was seeing her for the first time. "You're remarkable," he said. "I'm stupid. I'm falling for a criminal." "You're falling for me?" She set down her wine glass, stood, walked to where he sat. "I've been falling since that first night. Since you walked into my lounge and looked at me like that." He pulled her into his lap. "You are. You're the only person who's ever mattered this much." She kissed him then, soft at first, testing, tasting the wine on his lips, and something deeper, something that tasted like promises neither of them had made yet. His hands slid up her back, tracing the curve of her spine through the thin fabric of her dress. She shivered. "Cold?" he whispered. "No." Her fingers threaded through his hair. "The opposite." He smiled, that devastating smile that had been undoing her defenses for weeks. "Tell me to stop, and I will." "Don't stop." She kissed him again, harder this time. "Don't ever stop." He stood, lifting her with him like she weighed nothing, her legs wrapped around his waist instinctively. And she felt him, hard and wanting, against her. For a moment, he just looked at her. His eyes tracked over her face, her dome, her throat, the rise and fall of her chest. "You're staring again," she said, echoing her words from weeks ago. "I'm memorizing." His hands gentle on her ankle. "Every detail, every moment. Because this is everything." He carried her to his bedroom, and they made a different kind of confession in the dark. Morning came too bright, too early. Kendra woke up wrapped in silk sheets, Woojin's arm around her waist, and reality crashing back. She was in love with a mob boss. She should feel guilty, compromised, ashamed. Instead, she felt safe. Her phone buzzed. Hospital. She was due for a shift in 3 hours. "Don't go," he murmured against her neck. "I have patience. I'll donate another $1 million. They can hire 3 more doctors." She turned in his arms. "You donated to Manhattan General?" He smiled, caught. "Anonymously. 2 million, actually, for the new pediatric wing." "You—" She didn't know whether to kiss him or hit him. "That's bribery. That's gratitude. They trained the woman who saved my life." He kissed her forehead. "Besides, I can afford it. Crime pays that well? Diversification pays that well. Crime is just one portfolio." He traced patterns on her shoulder. "Stay. I'll have breakfast brought up." "I need to work." "Why? You could run your own practice. I'd fund it. State-of-the-art equipment, any location you want." "Because I don't want to be kept." That stopped him. "You think that's what I'm offering? Isn't it?" He sat up, eyes serious. "I'm offering you freedom. The ability to practice medicine without bureaucracy, without impossible hours, without earning it myself." She kissed him softly. "I need to do this my way, Woojin. I need to matter because of my skill, not your money." He studied her face, then nodded slowly. "I understand." 3 days later, his business partner arrived from Los Angeles. Thomas Kane was American, 45, silver-haired and charismatic, in the way of men who'd spent decades selling things people didn't need. Kendra met him at dinner, a private restaurant Woojin owned, guards stationed discreetly at every exit. "So, you're the miracle doctor," Kane said, shaking her hand. His grip was firm, his smile perfect. "Woojin says you diagnosed aconite poisoning in minutes. Impressive." "I had good teachers," Kendra replied. Something in Kane's eyes flickered, too fast to catch, but there. Instinct prickled her spine. Throughout dinner, she watched him. The way he touched his wine glass but never drank. The way he smiled at Woojin while his eyes stayed cold. After dessert, Kane excused himself. Kendra leaned close to Woojin. I don't trust him. Neither do I. That's why you're here, to make sure he doesn't try again. You think Kane poisoned you? I think Kane has been embezzling from our joint ventures for 18 months. I think he knows I'm close to having proof. And I think desperate men do desperate things. A waiter approached with fresh drinks. Kendra's hand shot out, stopped Woojin from taking his glass. What? He asked. She lifted the glass, sniffed carefully. Her medical training kicked in, analyzing, processing. Don't drink this, she said quietly. Woojin's expression hardened. He signaled one of his guards. Within minutes, the glass was being tested. Within an hour, they had confirmation. Aconite, again. This time in Woojin's whiskey. Kane was gone, fled before they could confront him. He's going to try again, Woojin said, pacing his penthouse war room. Kendra sat surrounded by chemical analysis reports, medical journals, toxicology databases. Not with aconite, she said. He knows we're watching for it now. He'll use something else. How many poisons do you know? Hundreds. She looked up. But Kane hired someone with specific knowledge, someone who knew aconite would be hard to detect, fast-acting, brutal. A chemist or a toxicologist. She pulled up a search on her laptop. Cross-reference chemists in the New York area with connections to... Wait. Her screen showed a name. Dr. Richard Moss, Ph.D. in toxicology. Previously worked for Kane's pharmaceutical company in L.A. Fired 6 months ago for ethics violations. Found him, Kendra said. Woojin leaned over her shoulder, read the screen. Can you find him? No, but you can. He made a call, spoke in rapid Korean. 30 minutes later they had an address. Dr. Moss lived in a brownstone in Queens, books stacked everywhere, the smell of chemicals thick in the air. Woojin's guards secured the perimeter. Kendra and Woojin entered through the front door. Unlocked. Arrogant. Moss looked up from his lab bench, saw them, and went pale. You're alive, he whispered. Thanks to her. Woojin gestured to Kendra. Dr. Wright, meet Dr. Moss. The man who tried to kill me twice. Kane hired me, Moss stammered. Said you were a threat to his business. Said it was self-defense. Self-defense? Woojin's voice dropped to something lethal. You poisoned me at dinner, surrounded by innocent people. I didn't want to. What's he planning next? Kendra interrupted, stepping forward. Kane didn't run because he's afraid. He ran because he has another plan. What is it? Moss's eyes darted between them. Tell us, Woojin said softly, or I'll let my guards ask you. And they're not as patient as Dr. Wright. The summit, Moss blurted. The business summit next week. Kane's poisoning the drinks at the opening reception. Multiple targets. He's framing you, says you're eliminating competition. Kendra's blood ran cold. How many drinks? 20, maybe 30. I don't know exactly. He has someone on the inside, switching out the champagne. What poison? She demanded. Ricin. Slow-acting but deadly. Symptoms won't show for hours. By the time anyone realizes what's happening, it'll be too late. Woojin's phone was already out, making calls. Kendra grabbed Moss's shoulder. Can you identify which drinks are poisoned? Not without testing each one. Then that's what we'll do. She looked at Woojin. We need to get into that summit. He smiled, cold, dangerous, ready for war. I was invited anyway. Now we're both going. The Business Leadership Summit was held at the Plaza Hotel. 500 attendees, cameras everywhere, security tight. Kendra wore a black cocktail dress, her medical kit disguised as an elegant clutch. Woojin wore a tuxedo that made her heart stutter. They entered together, his hand at her back, playing the part of couple attending a high society event. But Kendra's eyes were scanning the room, tracking the waiters circulating with champagne trays. There, she whispered. 6 servers, all with the same trays. But watch, they're not serving from them. They're holding them until... A bell chimed. The reception was beginning. The servers moved forward, offering glasses to specific attendees. Kendra's pulse spiked. Those are the poisoned ones. We need to test them now. Can't test them in public, Woojin murmured. We'll cause a panic. Then we stop people from drinking them. She moved fast, crossing the ballroom floor like a dancer, intercepting a woman about to accept a glass. Excuse me, Kendra said brightly. Would you mind holding off on champagne? There's been a potential allergy concern flagged, shellfish contamination in the glassware wash. We're just being cautious. The woman looked alarmed, set down the glass immediately. Kendra did it again. And again. Woojin moved through the room with her, his guards subtly intercepting servers, collecting glasses. Within 10 minutes, they'd pulled 32 champagne flutes from circulation. Then Kane arrived. He saw them immediately. Kane's expression went from surprise to understanding to rage in 3 seconds. He turned to leave. Woojin's guards blocked the exits. Thomas, Woojin called across the ballroom. Leaving so soon? But the reception just started. The room went quiet. 500 people watching. Kane forced a smile. Woojin, I wasn't expecting... A miracle? Kendra stepped forward, a champagne flute in her gloved hand. Funny thing about ricin poisoning, it's detectable, especially when you know what you're looking for. She pulled a portable test kit from her clutch. Rapid detection strips, bioluminescent markers, dipped one into the champagne. It glowed red. Gasps rippled through the crowd. That's ricin, Kendra announced. A deadly poison. Someone tried to kill multiple people tonight. Someone who needed to eliminate competition and frame young Woojin for mass murder. Kane's face went white. Shall we test all the glasses your servers were carrying? Woojin asked softly. Shall we see how many people you tried to murder tonight, Thomas? Kane bolted. He didn't make it 5 steps before Woojin's guards had him face down, hands zip-tied, screaming about lawyers and false accusations. The test strips told the truth. 32 poisoned glasses, 32 attempted murders. The police arrived within minutes, already called, already briefed, already prepared to take Kane into custody. Federal charges, attempted mass murder, conspiracy. Kane would spend the rest of his life in prison. The case made national news. Korean CEO and ER doctor stop mass poisoning plot. Kendra's face was on every news channel, her hospital flooded with interview requests, job offers, grant proposals. She turned them all down because something had shifted inside her that night at the plaza. She'd saved lives, not just one, but dozens. Had used her knowledge, her skills, her instincts to stop a massacre. And she'd done it outside the traditional system. What if she could do more? You're thinking too loud, Woojin said, finding her on the penthouse terrace at midnight. I want to quit the hospital, she said. He went still. Because of me? Because of me. Because I realized something tonight. She turned to face him. I've been so focused on working within the system that I forgot the system isn't perfect. There are people who need help, real help, that hospitals can't provide. Underserved communities, people without insurance, people who fall through the cracks. What are you saying? I'm saying I want to build something. A medical center that serves everyone regardless of ability to pay. State-of-the-art care without bureaucracy or insurance battles. She took his hands. I'm saying I want to do it with you. His eyes widened. With me? You have resources. I have medical expertise. Together we could... He kissed her. When he pulled back, he was smiling genuinely, fully. I had a speech planned. What? I was going to ask you the same thing. Tonight. Over dinner. He pulled a small box from his pocket. Kendra's breath stopped. I'm opening a private medical center, he said, Already purchased the building in Harlem. 5 stories, every modern medical technology available. I want you to run it, not as my employee, as my partner." He opened the box. Diamond ring. Simple and perfect. In business and life. Tears blurred her vision. "That's 2 proposals in one." "I'm efficient." He dropped to one knee right there on the terrace, city lights glittering around them. "Dr. Kendra Wright, marry me. Save my life every day for the rest of our lives." She was crying, laughing. "This is wildly inappropriate." "Is that a yes?" "That's a you're impossible and I love you and yes." He slid the ring on her finger, stood, pulled her into his arms. They kissed under the New York sky, the city humming around them, the future opening like a door. 6 months later, the Wright Young Medical Center opened its doors. 5 stories of cutting-edge medicine serving everyone who walked through the doors. Kendra ran the clinical operations, brilliant, demanding, saving lives with the same genius that had saved Woo Jin's that first night. Woo Jin handled business, funding, partnerships, ensuring they never had to turn anyone away. Together, they built something remarkable. On the center's 1-year anniversary, Kendra found him in his office late at night, reviewing expansion plans. "Come to bed," she said. "In a minute, I'm just—" She walked to his desk, took his wrist, checked his pulse like she did every night. A ritual, a promise. "Still alive," he confirmed, smiling. "Good, because I need you." She placed his hand on her stomach. "We need you." His eyes went wide. "You're 12 weeks. I wanted to be sure before—" He kissed her, fierce and joyful. When he pulled back, there were tears in his eyes. "A baby." "A baby," she confirmed. "Boy or girl? Does it matter?" "No." He kissed her again. "As long as they have your brilliance and your heart. And your stubbornness. That's a given." He touched her stomach with wonder. "Thank you." "For what?" "For saving my life. For loving me despite everything. For building this with me." He looked up at her. "For everything." She cupped his face. "You saved me too, you know. That night you walked into my lounge and offered me the world. I offered you a job. You offered me adventure, purpose, love." She smiled. "You offered me life, Woo Jin, and I took it." They stood there in the quiet office, the medical center humming around them, their creation, their legacy. A year ago, she'd been an exhausted ER doctor, counting down the hours until her shift ended. Now she was a wife, a partner, a builder of dreams, and soon a mother. All because she'd diagnosed a rare poison in the middle of the night. All because a dangerous man had looked at her and decided she was worth protecting. All because they'd both been brave enough to fall. "Come on," she said, pulling him up. "Let's go home." "We are home," he replied, gesturing to the center. She laughed. The end. Thank you for watching till the end. If you enjoyed this story, don't leave without hitting the like button. Subscribe if you haven't, and switch your notifications on. You don't want to miss what I got coming up. Make sure to drop in the comment section where in the world you're watching from. We're building a global community of story lovers here, and your voice is part of it. See you in the next one. Have a great day.